Well, there's certain events on the schedule that deliver waves of size and give our competitors a real challenge. And we're going to see that during this event window. But today, pretty manageable. And certainly for a local, no dramas in attacking some of these sections. This is McCarthy, who won through in the trials a couple of days back. Also celebrated a 20th birthday, a big week for the 20-year-old.
So much potential as we look at this replay of Mia. Nice size set wave. You can see that there's some good size in the waves today. A little bit of a wobble off the bottom, and no doubt because of look at all that chop, and then she throws it up into that late re-entry. I thought she was going fantastic week, one that you remember forever. Here's Johanne Defay.
Johanne Defay relegated to this elimination round. That's so rare for her, and she rarely slips up when she gets to this point in the competition. It's been over a year since she was knocked out in the second round, so she's definitely got a great chance here.
She handled it, she made it, and here's Johanne's replay. Nice drive off the bottom and snap out of the top. Wave gets a little flat, so she hits that white water, and then here that section breaks in front of her and doesn't really offer anything else. So a couple of turns, and maybe not the most convincing energy in that wave. And it felt like a warm-up wave, didn't it? It felt like one of those ones you get started on, and as they say, you find your feet and you start to build from there. Mia looked like she was attacking a little more.
Some lefts out here today. Johanne's got a very strong backhand. And McCarthy, she counts her backhand as her major strength, so she'll be looking that way occasionally, but at the moment, all right-handers in the opening exchange as Mia takes off. Steep section here, lays into it, gets the fins free for a moment and hangs on to the move. Solid effort from the 20-year-old from Margaret River, Australia.
Oh, bravo. That was attack. We talked about her being in attack mode.
Unless, you know, the judges, they really want to see you do it. Here goes Silvana. She's looking at something on the corner here. A lot of wall, bashes it off the top. So there's definitely some great waves out here.
How the left's looking out there, Strider, as we see. Hang on, I'll come back to you in a moment. We've got Johanne Defay up. Has a look at this first section. Doesn't quite get the completion on that one. How the left's out there, Strider, with this swell direction.
It all bodes well, particularly in terms of the attack that she brings to a wave. She's not surfing in a scared way at all. Silvana, Lima up and riding.
Nice cut down to get started, just flowing. Finding a section on the inside.
They've caught, the first few have caught them inside. This is actually the first earlier wave. Nice cutty there. You can see this lip line floater coming up. Didn't get really high, specific targeted wave. And Mia has done exactly that with this right.
Yeah, picking off one of the bigger waves of the morning. McCarthy, nice cut back to get started. Wants to finish this turn off. Gets the hit in. And on the outside, Johanne Defay with an opportunity now. Wave flattens out a little bit in the beginning. Draws it back into the pocket. Bit of foam on the face. Things starting to steepen now. For the surfer representing France via Reunion Island.
Nose caught and came unstuck.
Johanne also getting herself a wave. Putting together a couple of turns. And we got a set standing up on the outside. Let's see what the winner of the trials can do with this one.
It's a beautiful looking wave, Ronnie.
Digs into that first section. This wave's starting to steepen. Needs to get that big second turn in. Unfortunately, just arrives a little late. Just over 18 minutes to go. And Strider, you'd have to say that McCarthy's wave selection out there has been a little better than the veterans at the moment. Plenty of options out there for the competitors, but at the moment, no one is looking left, Barton. Everyone's had their eyes focused on the right. Silvana Lima's up again, chasing down the lead. Only needs a 5.11. It feels like the veterans out here, Silvana and also Johanne Defay.
Barely any. Fair to say, hardly any. I mean, it wasn't what we looked at, but Johanne Defay's looking at it. But look how clean the face of this one is.
Yeah, Johanne is really starting to push further ahead here. Found a couple of opportunities to let go of some decent turns.
Great surfing. If it's sort of moving and quivering around underneath you, it's not so great as we see the replay. Nice first snap. Kind of missed this section there. That was the most important section of the wave, but it was kind of missed. She had to go around it.
Must move pretty nicely. It's really cleaning up now as the winner of the trials taps into another one. Been so close to locking in some solid scores in this heat, and she's probably going to get her best number with this ride. She wants to finish this one off. digs in, so 3 turns.
But watch the rail line here. See that little quiver in the rail? And you'll see it consistently. See here? That was a little more drivey and nicer. But I feel like Mia's got to clean up that bottom turn, clean the way the board sears through that water, which will add an element of maturity. And I think that the judges would appreciate that as we check it on the replay. A little pump to get into position. Then she sets the rail, and you can see those couple of warbles in the rail of the board. That's because the weight was a little bit too far on the back foot.
5.4 to get up in the second. But Silvana Lima's going to try and push that requirement higher with this ride. Nice little combo on the outside, still working this one over. And she's going to kick out and try and get back to the takeoff to assume priority.
Rode through that cleanly, then transferred the weight back for out of the top. It would have been better. And you can see Silvana Lima pretty much doing exactly what we're talking about there. That first turn was so clean, so precise. Is searing through the water. And I suppose a little bit of youth, a little bit of nervousness, and the opportunity to experience this for Mia McCarthy is going to only help Johanne Defay there, showing that confidence. Both Silvana and Johanne are kind of starting to build now, starting to show the type of surfing we expect from them, and the comfort settling in, and it's only going to get harder for Mia from here.
And it just feels like Johanne's about to drop her best number, but here she goes. Late drop, clean section to rip into here. Nice carve for the 20-year-old who goes to the rail again, bouncing off the foam. Oh. Gets a positive finish, needs to hang on to this one. Oh. And she did so well, and like you said, how far can you ride the wave to show the judges that you're in control?
Losses of control, but looking at the 4.5 for the previous ride, I feel like this is going to be her best wave. First turn had some aggression as she drove it out of the top. There's that little skip in the rail, gets back into the whitewater, comes around this section, blows the tail, drifts it, and shows that control.
This might be a good chance for her now to really create a point of difference in her approach and have a look at her left, as we see Johanne Defay on a beautiful looking bowl, drives up into the section. That's the turn of the heat so far. Again into the pocket, doesn't quite get on top of that section, but it was a completion of the replays here. Have a look at this first turn, lines it up perfectly.
Look, perfect positioning, drives and just wraps out of the top and straight into this second one. As you said, Ronnie, in the live call, that could have got a little more height, could have been a little more critical, but it didn't need to be. And actually the completion was more important than really risking something too much on that last turn, particularly given the size of the wave, how clean and beautiful it was, and the fact that that first turn was the best turn of the heat so far. So well managed into the back end of the ride. Yeah, the best wave of the heat so far. And Silvana on a beautiful one behind too. Conditions are cleaning up as she drives off the bottom, snaps out of the top. Great style, great composure. Needs a finish here, and I dare say that those two rides may just push it outside of the possibilities for Mia. They were two of the best rides of the heat. Drove off the bottom. You see a little warble off the bottom. This ocean has got a lot of power in it. A couple little pumps there. She knows it's just a finishing turn that's needed. See, there's that warble off the bottom, and ordinarily you need to set that front end of the rail and drive it cleanly. All of those little warbles in the rail and losses of control are considered and need to be factored in by the judges to understand, and because, you know, there's a lot of potential from 0 to...
One is going to come to a close with Mia chasing a 7.8. Had some real moments in this heat, but it is going to be the veteran Silvana Lima and Johanne Defay, who, as you mentioned early on, is always so comfortable at these reef break locations. Hasn't had a big finish here at Margaret River, but this year could be her year.